for enjoying today, International Hospitality Women's Day.
Woo!
We are rocking and rolling this entire day. And boy, has it gone fast or what?
Can you believe we've only got 2 more destinations left on our travel log today?
Oh my gosh. I really miss traveling, and this has just been way fun. I'm having a blast. So
it's been fabulous. Another great interview. A Midwestern gal moves to the big city of DC, Baltimore, and great stuff again. Wonderful questions. And are you having fun doing the interview?
My gosh.
Are you having fun doing this dance and jumping back from co-hosting the interviewing, the co-host and the interviewing?
Absolutely. Thank God we've got you and the staff behind the scenes to do all these switching and buttons and everything, because without it, especially my show producer, Lisa Raymond with Visibly Media, I mean, she is incredible. And I couldn't do it without it. I mean, when talking about our broadcasting sports days, it's all about everybody, the whole team makes it happen. So yeah, I'm having a blast. It's almost actually like planning a meeting too, because you do all the prep, all the logistics ahead of time. And then once the show starts, it's like, it is what it is.
you got to go with the flow, keep the smile on. Don't let it, all those things we talked about throughout the day. That's part of hospitality is you are going to meet, greet, share, and make sure everyone has a great experience. Behind the scenes, we know not everything's perfect. But you don't need to know that.
Exactly. But wasn't Melissa dynamite?
She was fantastic. I have so many different things to just go through my mind. Again, I'm kind of curious before I launch off and interview you now. But what was your biggest takeaway? What was the thing that grabbed you the most, maybe?
Well, I love the fact that she came up with a solution to, she talked about the boys club, which she is in my era, and that definitely is the case. The industry has recognized that, and calling that out by saying that there's a lack of access is spot on, completely spot on. And we talked about this earlier in the show. I think David Kong with, Best Western Hotels said it as well. It's a lack of resources. It's a lack of training. It's a lack of the board really, board level committing. So that access that she was talking about really resonated with me, and how she sees until that is recognized, she doesn't see any change from when she started.
Right. And she got 20 plus years in it. And she's like, it really hasn't changed that much. Interesting, we've heard in a couple other countries, they are beginning to change. But here in the good old USA, it's still the good old boys a little bit more.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions I wanted to know. How much are we going to hear that we may not like a little bit?
Right. And she called him out on it. And I'm glad she did, because I'm from her era, and it's so obvious, for sure. And she talked about also, multiracial. No one is from one group anymore. I love that, because it's true. We can't just pick a group and that's where we belong. It's crossing. Everybody's a lot of cross training going on. But I loved how she explained that, because people need to start thinking that, hey, I don't need to be just in this one group. I have a voice over here as well.
Well, and I think we're, Ancestry.com, so many places are beginning to talk about your history, your roots, the backstory. I think people are getting more interested in it. I'm not just white American. I am German heritage. I have other things in me. I think people are trying to figure out really what that plays into my story and my family history. And I think we're embracing it. I think people want to know who I am, totally, not just who you think I am. And I think it's expanding that to be a fun conversation.
Right. So what were some of the golden nuggets that you received from her?
Oh my gosh. She was talking about, first of all, the meeting planners were not ready. They were not ready when it came to pivot, change, update. And she said, even as great as their hybrid event was, they said, we were not ready. And thank goodness some other people came in, swooped up, and helped us get there. But as advanced as we are, as great leaders we are, sometimes we don't realize how flat-footed we are when you have to make that next move. And I'm kind of wondering, what have you heard from the industry on that type of response yourself, Deborah?
She and many people in the industry had the same perspective that we weren't ready. Sheriff, again, from PCMA said that this morning. Shame on us. We've been through, this is not our first rodeo. We've been through it before. We have not been ready. And because of that, when hybrid was introduced, it was like, the meeting and event planners are like, no, I am not going there. And they've been forced to do that. And because of it, that's like, if you're sitting at a kitchen table and your mom and dad make you eat broccoli and you don't like it, you're going to hate it even more. Right. Well, that's what's happened with hybrid. So that's why the technology world is going to have to come up with something bigger and better and user friendly, because it's not working for our industry.
You knew I was going to go there, because half the conversation was on hybrid and technology. That was half your conversation. I sat there going, boy, okay, here we go, Trigger. She said she does not like the hybrid. She said it was extremely successful, though. It was very interesting. She said, we don't want to do it, but it was successful. So there was a tension of, we are going to resist this as much as we can, but it was successful. And I really, because this is where I coach, this is where I lead, and that's why you and I have talked a bit on this, is the events can do this way better than they think, but they have to relax and understand it isn't, and I heard her say it, and I've heard you say it several times today, it's really two events.
Right.
And it's a mental shift as a leader to say it's one event. Right. But it's like two camera angles giving you a 360 experience. And that's where some of the ways I coach this is you turn it into a 360 experience. You don't keep it two separate conversations. You literally bring it all into one. And there are ways and techniques that we are bringing about through virtual coaching and through technology. She talked about we have to do better PR. We don't even have the awareness of the PR to let people know how cool this industry is.
Right.
Okay. You can do YouTube. You can do some videos, coaching, behind the scenes interviews. You can use the technology and the virtual to help solve that problem too. And that's where I want to gently challenge those people in that space of, you have resources. And she talked about resources. We need to get the resources.
Sure.
We heard that earlier today. We have the resources. The industry can do it, and it's not ignoring, as she so powerfully said, we want in person. We want the touch. We want the feel. We all do. You and I both want to as well. But at the same time, the global impact, the reach can be much bigger and stronger. And as we said earlier today, the smaller places can finally get in the big game.
Right.
Now we have the resource, coach them, train them on how to make it a very intermingled event. So I sat there hearing her pain and angst, and I sat there also saying, you're looking for a solution. It might be more closer than you think it is.
Right. And I think the frustration comes from the fact that virtual and hybrid and face-to-face is constantly changing, and they're trying to stay up with that. She was saying it was successful because it was probably one of the first major events that she was able to get her and her staff to try. But it's still nothing like being face-to-face to her, because again, she's old school like I am. But the new generation coming up is going to see things differently, of course. So it's all about everybody's different perspective. But I love what you said. It has to do with embracing the resources and the training and learning what that does to help you move forward. We have a comment here from Visibly Media pertaining to all of this as well. They say, is it really a lack of training, or is the training different between men and women? So now we're getting into the DEI version of Melissa's talk here.
Yeah.
You want to take this one, Rich?
Yeah, actually, I don't think it is the male-female discussion. I think it is a mental leadership shift. And I meet with a lot of CEOs, executives, and the mental leadership thing is it's different because this is foreign. This is bringing TV now, media, into events, into hotels, into other things. But as we have found is, like, for example, let's say we have a live panel discussion on stage at a hotel, keynote speakers, everything else. You have your live studio audience. You've got 300 people there in the room, 500 people in the room. Let's add a Jumbotron, not just the ones that you play the playback on, but let's add a Jumbotron on stage. So you have your panel, you have another Jumbotron right there. like you saw in the NFL last year.
Right.
You get to see all the Zoom people. You get to see all the interaction right there. They're now part of that crowd.
Right.
You have to put a camera on that. So you're now the MC, the host, get to talk to that crowd. And now instead of having you just feel the questions from the audience live, you feel the questions in the Zoom box, and your panel can see Susie on the Zoom box. You've now brought them all together in an interactive, very powerful way. Chat questions like we just did right here. You bring those chat questions on the screen, anyone on the panel can reply to it. You now bring it together, but that's technology, which you heard her talk about. We need to learn more about technology. We don't have it. We need to get people to help us figure this out. You bring technology into relationship, and now you have an event that everyone is fully immersed in. That's a new ball game, and that's where it isn't male, female. It is literally, it's Walt Disney sitting in the room and say, guys, we're going to create this thing where Mickey Mouse walks up and talks to you as an animatronic. And people go, what's an animatronic?
Right.
And how's he going to talk to me?
Right.
No one believed it until it happened. And now we all go to Disney and we all go, that's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's kind of the new space we're living in.
So answer this one too, Rich, because we've been told that technology as it is evolving all the time. Do you feel that, what is your version of hybrid? Do you think it's going to change or stay the same or not go away?
It's going to change like you cannot believe.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm talking with people that are doing digital skins. So imagine you're watching and you now put on your 3D goggles or whatever, you beam into an event and you're a live audience, you're talking, you're interacting, and you have a digital skin. It's really you looking like you, me, not a cartoon. It looks like me. You now have an audience that way, and that can also be played on the Jumbotron and interacted with. You can also now do this in a way, and I really think this is coming, and I don't think it's far away.
No, I don't either.
I literally think the hologram is going to happen where you will be there, and you're going to be standing there live yourself, Deborah. You're going to be emceeing, talking to people, and literally you're going to have Rich beam in, and you're going to think they're both on stage together, and you'll be able to do this and talk, and the crowd's not going to go, what's Memorex, what's live. I think that's coming, and I think that's going to shatter the way we're thinking about how hybrid works.
So do you think my Star Trek beaming in at Universal Studios is finally going to work?
I think on that hologram type of thing, yes, I think it really is going to work.
Yay!
I have been to church services. Church services have been experimenting with this for a while, but they do multiple services sometimes. They record one service, and they do it on a special material. And when they do Sunday morning, let's say, for example, one service is live, the pastor's there. The second service, they drop a cloth down, and you don't know he's not standing there.
Right.
Imagine that in your hybrid events now.
Right. Wow. Wow. So the other thing that I thought that Melissa really honed in on, which was interesting, she talked about the weakness in the hospitality industry being, you know, the answers to what are the career paths in hospitality. I thought that was very bold because I believe that is an issue, that is a problem. And she brought that to the table. And yet I'm sure every industry is dealing with that too. But if nobody's talking about it or not showcasing the career path, no one can really have a vision or a goal of where they want to be. And that's what makes you complacent.
Yeah, no, it was promote the career path. How do we do what we need to do? We haven't done it. And then I thought the other thing was link that to the access of women to new opportunities.
Right.
So let's showcase the amazing roles and position and jobs and the path that you're going to go. And let's show how the women have gone from here to here to here, like we're doing today.
Right.
Like we're talking about from cleaning to the boardroom and how it is happening. Now you elevate those stories with the idea that you have access and opportunity. You start sharing those, people can go, this is a lot more fun than I thought it was. And you will get people from all walks and tribes coming on in, and that boardroom that she was talking about will change, have more inclusion across the board, because now they see the path, the experience, the training makes you that great leader.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That experimental leader.
Yep.
But I did relate to her when we, again, the whole theme of mentorship today. Her mentors were men.
Yes.
I mean, literally, I'm a mini me of her, because that is so true. We, some women that really want to elevate, they gravitate to men that are successful, and the men are open to taking them along and show them the way. I've experienced that over and over before, where as I looked for, DOSs or someone in that level of being a woman was not as helpful. I'm trying to figure out if that's still going on. Is that
Well,
a
I
big
go back to
wonder?
Olga, who was in Spain, who you interviewed so well just prior to this one. Olga made it very clear is that us women are different and we compete against each other. We need to knock it off.
Right.
Men are willing to mentor and come alongside.
Yeah.
And the women are more of going after each other. So if we're looking for which women leader do you emulate and follow, the competition isn't allowing for much of that. The men are saying, I want you in my boardroom. I want you. I value the female perspective of my leadership teams everywhere I've been. I love hearing that different view that I never thought of. So the men somehow are open to it, but that competition may not allow for what exactly we just heard Melissa talking about of, I want that female leader, but I can't find her yet. I want that female mentor. Who's that inspiration?
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think what needs to be redefined is what she called working executives. There's a lot of women out there that are working so hard to elevate themselves that they're not being showcased. I thought that was a really interesting statement.
So what I wrote down was on that is, thank goodness for programs like yours. Seriously, this is how it's going to happen. Maybe the industry isn't really ready for that yet, but maybe you need outside resources like yours to come in and do events like this and say, we are going to show you, we are going to give those female awards, we are going to elevate their great stories like we've done all around the world today. Maybe that's going to be the new way into the industry and say, wake up, because we are recognizing it, and maybe you ought to join the party with us.
There you go.
And so I'm like, you know what, you're already setting the new path. Let's just add some more gasoline and blow it up to get more people involved in this.
Yep. Move forward. Move it really fast forward.
The other thing I heard her say very interesting was, and these are your questions, what's the future if the boardroom does not change?
Right.
And your other question is, what's the future if it does change?
Right.
I thought those are two great questions you put on her to both vision cast and talk about if or if not. And you could feel the angst of, boy, those are tough questions, but I thought she did a good job. There is a future. There is the great potential, but she also realizes if we don't, this is not going to bode well for the industry.
Right. And now is the time. Now is the time. So it's a do or die type of situation. And I'm hoping that, today's show will help companies and organizations, especially again, the C-suite level, to open their eyes and provide the access that women need. And it could be as simple as asking their women employees.
Yeah.
How easy is that?
Who wants to step up? Who wants to get in a mentorship that intentionally rises you up to take you over here? I'm sure you would have the door will be beaten down with great people. I think you have to go for the ask, and someone's got to lead this new reshaping of it. And it'd be fun to see who might be in that conversation.
Right. Exactly. Well, that was a lot of fun. She was terrific. And such a brilliant woman. Again, can't wait to meet her in the near future as well. But as we know, we got a flight to catch. So
yeah, we do.
we got to keep moving.
We got a major flight here
along. Yeah. And so I'd love for you to show us where we're going next.
We are going to Asia now. Again, hopping from Reagan International maybe to an Asian destination. It's a broader conversation too, but we're going to Asia, which again, beautiful technology growing and growing like crazy, but the industry and the destination world there is powerful. This ought to be another fun conversation. But again, we are literally spinning very quickly now because we question how much would the American way be different than what we've heard, vastly different than what we've heard so far, and challenging. Here we're going to go to Asia, and it's probably going to be completely different from what we just heard again.
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, we're getting some more comments. I think this is a fan of yours, Rich. Lynn Wellish, I love her. She's a dynamite in the industry. She says, I love this summarization. Excellent. Well, thank you. This is awesome. Lynn, why don't you hop on with us?
Yeah, you can beam in and join the conversation.
We'll make it even more interesting. Yeah, she's terrific. One of definitely the future stars, if not already, a go-getter. And I adore her. As a matter of fact, I know she'd be the first to tell you that I actually mentor her. But the beauty of mentoring women like Lynn, and I have to say this about her, is that when you're a good student, you want to mentor people. So mentoring is a very important position. And if somebody's learning from you, it makes sense. If they're not, they need to find somebody that's a better fit. And Lynn and I have been together for a number of years. And I have to tell you, not only am I a mentor to her, but I think she's a mentor to me because I keep learning all kinds of things from her. So thank you, Lynn, for being here.
I coach leaders and I love leadership coaching. And one of the things is look behind you and who you're bringing with you. If you are not bringing someone with you, I don't think you're really a leader.
Love that idea.
Replacing your replacement. And we heard that earlier. Pass the baton off, succession. As leaders, male or female, I don't care right now in this conversation.
Right.
Whatever part you are in, whatever part of the industry you are in,
right.
You are a leader at some point of your industry, whether it's the CEO or whether it's the head of concierge or where you're the head of the bathroom cleaning. I don't care. You're a leader someplace. Look behind you and who are you bringing with you? That will change the paradigm right there. Right,
exactly. So I'm looking ahead. I see you there. I'm following your tail. By the way, before we get into to who's representing Miss Asia, did you notice I'm wearing green today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, green is our logo color, which is right on the other side of your head there. And green, of course, represents so many things. So we went with the color green for the theme, like money and growth. And plus, it matches my eyes. So
it's also the color of the Green Bay Packers. So
that's true.
Green is the Packer color there.
Yep. It's not my Cardinals. It would be the Packers. You're absolutely right. So hopefully maybe next year or the whole month of September, we get the green theme going. And that would be a lot of fun too. So I enjoy doing creative things like that. And I know you do too, Rich. So
no. Again, that's why we're doing the travel log postcards. We've been doing the postcard. I mean, that's creative. That's fun. And
love that idea.
Maybe the industry can also learn. The hospitality does so much. How much more creative can we be?
Yeah.
Creativity brings people out. Creativity excites people. Let's have some fun with this. Roll up your sleeves and have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about. Okay, so we're in Asia. We are going to meet Carrie Healey. She's the Chief Commercial Officer for Accord. And she's going to, and I know you brought it up, the C-suite leadership positions for a couple of times. And what I really like about her, and I'm most impressed with her, is her knowledge. She's very quick on her perceptions, on her ability to be an executive, especially in the hotel business and in the hotel company of Accord. She really understands. Here's the unique thing about her. She understands not only the corporate side, but the operational side. And that's tough. That's tough to do in the hospitality industry because you come from one or the other. Like, for example, I came from the sales end. Being on the catering end, it would be very difficult. So we always say, the salespeople always book the dream and the catering works the nightmare. We're always that way. But she has multiple of knowledge all throughout her whole career. And she's been in it for 25 years. And what she does, she oversees 400 hotels in 12 countries.
Wow.
I mean, and she looks like she's, 18. I mean, she's just a great, energetic, wonderful, and brilliant leader throughout of Asia. She's based in Singapore, but covering 4 continents like that, it takes a lot.
Well, we were talking to Olga about that commitment. Remember, she pounded her chest, and Olga was talking about this has got to be a passion, heart thing. And people who don't understand hospitality will not get that.
Right.
You're talking about 4 continents. You have to love, eat, drink, and sleep because there are no time zones for her. It's all blurred. No. It's got to be endless roller coaster, but to be smashing it like that, she has got to bleed this out of her soul.
You know, that's a very good question. I'll try to fit that in and write that down and try to fit that in, because I would imagine her time zones are really, really messed up.
Would you want to do that? I mean, I'm on calls that are different time zone, but can you imagine running teams and organizations at the level she does? I mean, that's a global leader, not just a hospitality leader. Come on. She's a global leader that is crushing it at such a level. She has that much influence, leadership, authority. That's an amazing level to really elevate and say, wow, that's a whole different scalability.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it must be a beautiful place to visit. I've never been. I know, a couple speakers like Scott Friedman's been there multiple times. I heard it's just fantastic. And of course, with that postcard view behind you, makes me want to go now. Well,
maybe you'll get a little glimmer during the interview. Maybe she'll reveal some little cultural things and have a little fun with that, because we are literally traveling the globe here today. These have all been great, and they all have been so diverse. There hasn't been anyone that's been a copycat repeat. There's been little things that have been similar, like the mentorship has been the number 1 theme of the day.
Yeah.
So it's been great to hear the little other parts that have been coming out from every individual speaker.
Right. Definitely. So hopefully she has a fan base there that will hop on the chat box and not be so shy like the people in the US were. But I'm just excited to have everyone meet her. Our pre-calls have just been spot on, and she's just full of life. She has so much going on for her. And her resume, if I had to read all those positions, it's just mind-boggling.
You don't get to be in charge of 4 continents without having a big resume. Come on.
I know.
I'm not doing that.
I know. Have you ever been to Japan or South Korea?
No, I've had friends that have gone. Absolutely love it. I've had good friends at IBM that spent years there, and it's their home away from home. They actually love it. And if they were not here anymore, they said, I'd go back to Japan in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I have a cousin that did that, and I never got the opportunity to play, and just too busy traveling at the time. But I was almost born in Japan. So
yeah, right. Yeah. You
as a Marine brat.
Plus, I just can't do the chopsticks and the Asian food too well. I still need my food and sport. I do.
Well, we're definitely going to have fun with Carrie Healey from Southeast Asia. She is terrific, and I know you're going to enjoy this as well. So stick around and enjoy this, and then we'll be back to recap it and to talk with you. So everyone, don't go far. We'll be right back.